Is this good content? Fired up! All right, update. So everything I've done since I got the helicopter. I went through, there was some rust on some of these steel parts, cleaned all that off. I made sure all these were torqued properly for the whole drive shaft assembly. I had to get a key made. This key right up here, actually. Yep, right. That little silver piece right there. I had to get that made to be able to put this second reduction pulley on. I tensioned the belts to spec. I checked all the torque on all the nuts and bolts on the rotor head, minus the ones for the blades. I haven't put that on yet. Tensioned this belt properly per the manual. Rigged up the whole fuel system. I still need to strap these down, I think. I probably will. Starter. So I took the starter off. I took the starter apart. I cleaned up the connectors and the brushes in there, hopefully to get a little bit more power from the starter. If not, I'll continue to use my drill to kind of start it. Checked for play in the whole flight control system. I checked all the torque on all the bolts there. Still waiting on air filters to come in because one of them I lost in transport. But air filters should be in actually today. I'll put new air filters on there. You can see this one's tearing right there. The other one tore completely off as I was driving down the highway. So no worries. Got new ones on the way. What else did I do? I took the spark plugs out in anticipation of putting new ones in, but the old ones were actually still pretty good, so reinstalled those. I'll eventually replace them anyway. I serviced the gearboxes, so bought some fresh grease and oil because some grease had leaked out of the gearboxes. So I serviced that splitter gearbox, and this is the 90-degree gearbox. Serviced this one as well. Checked all the torque on all these bolts back here at the tail. When I ran it up the other day, I probably got 25 to 50% throttle, and the tail rotor felt really smooth. I was actually really impressed by that. So yeah, I'm pretty much up to test flight time. I got to put the blades on, and I have to, I'll show you. So these bolts here adjust where this bolt sits in the blade grip. So you have to install the blade, and then you adjust these bolts to make sure that the blade is perfectly centered in line with the rotor head for both blades. But yeah, hopefully the starter works. I might start it later today to see if the cleaning up the starter helped it turn over, because before it just didn't have enough power. So we removed the blade grip because I discovered last night that this blade grip, it takes quite a bit of friction to move this, to change the pitch of the blade. And during my ground runs, I could feel it in the controls. The controls were shaking. At first, I thought it was the track and the balance of the rotor blades, but I got the track and balance good, but I still had control shake, and it's because there's friction in here. So now I'm going to take apart this blade grip. There's two bearings in here, and we're going to see which one is causing the excess friction. It could be old grease, it could be a nut that's too tight, it could be some dirt in there, I don't know. We're going to find out. Here we go. So, here's what I figured out. Took this all apart. I can't find anything wrong with the main bearing that takes all the load of the helicopter. I cleaned old grease out, put new grease in. I still need to add some more. But on the other end, was this block, which had this bearing here. And see how it spins free now? It didn't before. And the problem was whoever machined this piece of metal here, whoever machined that hole in the metal, it was just a touch too small. So I ran to the shop down the street. He's got a press. He lets me borrow tools sometimes. So I pressed the bearing out, and I just took some sandpaper in there really quick, and just, you know, ever so slightly made the diameter of the hole a little bigger. Press the bearing back in, free spins, no problem. So I'm gonna grease everything back up really good, put it all back together, and hopefully that solves our issues. So what we're doing today, we're gonna take apart the starter. We're gonna try and clean all the contacts up and hopefully get a little bit more cranking amps out of this starter, because it spins the motor over a little slow. So we're taking it apart right now. Some video. So we got the motor apart. This is the contact portion where the brush is right on. You can see it's a little tarnished, so we're gonna clean that up. But all the bearings and everything else seem good. And then these are the 4 brushes. They have some grooves worn in them, so we're gonna clean those up as well and see if we can get some more power. One, two, check, check. All right. Mosquito is fired up. I got it running good. Tune the carbs, track and balance the rotor. Woo! All right, here we go. I'm out here at my helicopter pad, aka the cul-de-sac. Let's check on my temperatures. Hovering around 700 EGT on both engines. That's what I want to see, matched EGTs. Idle's climbing a little. That's okay. All right, let's do it. Run up. See how she feels. Oh, buddy, DJ is here. Green blaze flying a little low. I'm gonna adjust that. Let's make that adjustment and then we'll get back with you. Let's get buckled back up. Fire it up.
Does she look straight?
Clear prop. Not good. That was full forward cyclic right there. It is, right? Yeah. I never measured it, so I don't know. So I added some weight to the front landing gear as an experiment, trying to see if adding forward CG will help my issue, because right now it's hovering with way too much forward cyclic, so trying to correct that issue. Yeah, it is a little better. I just need some forward CG. Woo! Woo! All right. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, buddy. It's running good. Not bad. Oh, the wind's from the right now. One more. I'm gonna adjust the PC link down on the red blade one more half a turn and see how it is. People on my YouTube channel are like, do you have helicopter experience? You need experience to fly that. And I was like, no, it's my first time. They're like, bro, you're gonna die, you know? That's what they're thinking, I'm sure. Well, that was the first real flights for the Mosquito Air. And I'm super happy. I freaking love it. I could just fill this thing up and burn another hour just sitting here hovering, trying to put the nose gear on the circle. It's a fun game. One of my air filters fell off, but I'll re-RTV that back on. That'll be okay. What else? I adjusted the track and balance a little bit more, and yeah, everything seems good. Hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see more, let me know. Peace.
I don't know who this guy is, but he is nuts. Well.
Oh, it's fun. I've flew it for a long time.
You did?
Yeah. Park and brake engaged. Yeah.
So, keep it or sell it.
I don't know.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Let me just play with it some more.
Yeah.
So I did the first flight this morning with the Mosquito Air, and it went well. I had a couple questions on one of my videos, so I thought I'd answer them. A lot of people wondering, you know, like, what do you do if the engine fails? And if you've never been around helicopters or flown one, you might not know this, but helicopters auto-rotate if you put the collective all the way down. Basically, the airflow as you're falling out of the sky will keep the rotor spinning, and then at the very bottom, you increase collective to cushion and use the inertia from the rotor system to soften your landing. Kind of like gliding in an airplane, except you fall a lot faster. Yeah. So yeah, engine failure is a concern, but as long as you either have enough altitude or airspeed, you can successfully do auto rotation and land. Although it does take more skill to pull that off than, you know, crash landing an airplane after an engine failure. But I'd rather have an engine failure in this than have an engine failure in a single engine airplane any day of the week. Because the speed at which you touch down is a lot slower in this, and that speed is what kills you. Actually, not the speed. It's a sudden stoppage when you hit the ground that kills you. What else? Same thing. If you lose your tail rotor, you get a tail rotor failure. You can just auto-rotate as well. You don't need a tail rotor if there's no torque applied, and there's no torque if your engine is off or you're auto-rotating. So, what else is cool I can tell you about the Mosquito? Let me flip this camera. Look at this rotor blade. See the shape of that airfoil? See that trailing edge right there? That's a reflex. What? Reflex? Why? So the reason why helicopters like this that are manually controlled, no hydraulic assistance, they have a reflex profile because if they didn't, it would be nearly impossible to control the rotor system, because as the angle of attack changes, when you pull up on the collective and the angle of attack changes on the rotor blades, an asymmetric airfoil without a reflex profile creates very large pitching moments, which means the controls would fight your movements, right? The aerodynamics happening on the rotor blades would fight your movements in the controls that you're trying to input. So having a reflex profile in the rotor blades allows you to move the controls without much resistance to your control inputs, because there's no hydraulic assistance on this helicopter. The force that I put into the cyclic, it goes directly to the linkages up there and then directly into the rotor blades. That's why the rotor blades have a reflex profile. Slightly less efficient, but totally worth it for the large increase in control response. If you got more questions, comments, things you want to know about helicopters, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.